And good afternoon, everyone. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. My name is Jim, and this is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. This is a directed network, and I am net control. If at any time during this net should an emergency arise, please notify net control, and we'll stand by and allow those in need to access this frequency. Is there any priority or emergency traffic at this time? And hearing nothing, we will continue. This net is all about ham radio and being all that you can be. That's what our Qso-Vlog network is all about, trying to help people achieve the best sounding station possible. Thanks for dropping by. FYI, my background is 50 years in commercial broadcasting, where a lot of big bucks are spent on audio processing equipment and getting it set up correctly to get the best sounding station possible. Well, long story short, when I became a ham radio operator, I could hear immediately a large discrepancy in on-air technical proficiency. A lot of stations were running with very poor mic equalization, very muddy, with little articulation. And as I continued to work stations, I realized most of the stations were also running very low average peak modulation, many around 30% of average peak modulation. So with my background, I thought I could help, or at least try. I knew that most modern-day ham transceivers did have enough onboard processing equipment to be able to overcome most all of the problems. So it would just be a matter of developing a generic dynamic range setup procedure and then adjusting the onboard EQ gear. And so I started the Qso-Vlog network with the phrase, if you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout. And today we're currently featuring over 3,600 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. And you can access these recordings by going to YouTube and doing a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook. And we also have a newer series called KC9VKV Highlights. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word highlights on a YouTube search. These are some of our less technical and more human nature philosophical kinds of QSOs. That's KC9VKV, followed by the word highlights on a YouTube search. Both KC9VKV Logbook and KC9VKV Highlights are segments of our main YouTube homepage of Jim's Radio Story, where we celebrate a 50-year career in commercial broadcasting, a 50-year journey from a 5-watt pirate radio station as a 12-year-old to production director of a major 50,000-watt AM broadcast facility. And the thing that makes this truly a unique story is that I have all the actual masters from all along the way. Over 2,600 shows, including many full-length major music concerts and radio documentaries. You have to check it out and subscribe. Jim's Radio Story on a YouTube search. Our mission statement for the Qso-Vlog network is to establish a higher technical level of radio transmissions of the human voice by the intelligent utilization of available electronics in current amateur radio transceivers. Our setup, while generic in nature, converts the average 10 dB dynamic range transmitter with an average 30% of peak modulation to a much fuller 3 dB dynamic range with an average 80 to 85% of peak modulation. This substantial boost in audio transmit level is extremely beneficial in high noise levels and heavy QRM. It allows you to punch through when others fail. The second part of our transmitter setup has to do with proper mic equalization. We're looking to optimize the transmitted voice for a higher level of intelligibility through the use of EQ patterns that bring out the articulation aspects of the human voice. Again, why need to hear the voice if you can't understand the words? Also this afternoon on the receive side, we're running 5 Internet SDR receivers, monitoring New York, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Virginia specifically. And in addition, we're running our newer number 5 Hocus Pocus Internet SDR receiver, loaded with 50 additional pre-programmed Internet SDR locations spread out over 20 states across the eastern half of the United States, trying to get the best copy from our 100-watt friends. Now, the audio from these 5 SDR receivers comes up on a 6-position rotary selector. Also in this selector is our local receiver antenna. And today, our local receiver is running 3 large 10-foot vertical magnetic loop antennas, one aimed at 0 degrees, one aimed at 90 degrees, and the number 3 is aimed at 134 degrees. These are run as a directional scanner array with a manual voting system 6-position rotary selector. Also today, on the transmit side, we'll be running our no SWR, specially oriented resonant tuned dipole antenna. One leg of this resonant tuned dipole antenna runs broadside to Montreal, Canada. The other leg runs broadside to Miami, Florida. As we were constructing our station, our mantra was 20 over from Montreal to Miami, with a hotspot through the Carolinas. And although conditions may vary, the general performance of this antenna supports its mission. Also today, we'll be running our input source indicator, so when we switch from an Internet SDR receiver to our local receiver, you'll be able to hear the switch and see the switch. You'll have to check it out on our YouTube Qso-Vlog video. And as we come together for another Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network, let us pause just a moment for the amateur radio operator's prayer. Lord, we pray for clear 20 over S9 communications today. Let all our transmissions fill the air and reach their destinations QSA5 to be understood by all. And as we pray for good radio conditions, let us also pray for good human conditions. We pray that you will protect everyone, especially our elderly. And also, Lord, we seek your divine intervention to bring peace to a very divided United States. As we go through a very conflicting time in America's history, with dark clouds all around, we pray that you will reduce life's daily political QRM between our brothers and sisters. And through your love and guidance, show us the way to find peace and harmony. Help us to communicate with one another 20 over S9. Thank you, Lord, and God bless and protect America. Amen. To continue, since this part of the band has many nets trying to operate in a very confined area, I would appreciate all stations checking into our Qso-Vlog net to keep their band pass to no wider than 100 to 2900. And again, please, no wider than 100 to 2900. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. And now, with all that being said, let's open it up and see who's out there. If you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout.
KR4 IDW.
IBW, Roger, Roger. What's the name there?
The name's Steve. Sierra Tango Echo Victor Echo.
Roger, Steve, and what's your location, sir?
Pretty close to you. I'm over here in the Coral Ridge, Fairdale area. Just got this radio set up for HF and wanted to give you a shout to see how it sounds.
Yes, sir. What kind of radio are you running today, sir?
It's an ICOM 7300.
Roger, Roger. Okay, first thing is to be sure that you're in that wide 100 to 2900 transmit bandwidth, TBW. It's there's 3 possibilities on your 7300. One is called wide, and that's the one we want to be in, 100 to 2900. Roger?
That's where I'm at.
Roger, Roger. Okay, then to your compressor processor on at a 3. Something that nobody will ever really hear, but we suggest a 3 on that compressor setting. Roger?
Roger. I'm presently set at a 5. I'll turn it down to a 3 for you right now. How's that?
Yes, sir. What happens is when you pass a 3, you start getting to be stuck up between words, and that doesn't help anybody between the words. So, and some folks find it annoying. So we approach the setup of the compressor with a great deal of finesse, just enough to help us along. Roger, about a 3 dB or 4 dB compression rate on that compressor, but we call it a 3. Roger?
Roger.
All right, now to your ALC meter, and with mic gain in hand, and as you say the magic word audio, don't stress it, just say it as you would say any other word in a QSO, and as you say that word, you adjust your mic gain control until your ALC meter is running in the sweet spot of half to 2/3. Roger, 50%, half to 2/3, Roger. Just closer to 2/3 if you can do that. With that steady state tone, it's a lot easier to do the 2/3 because it's not jumping around like if you were to try to set it with your voice. So just and adjust your mic gain until you're in that sweet spot of 7 or 2/3, Roger.
Roger, it's presently set at 75%. I'll turn it down to 70 and give you a audio.
Roger, Roger. Now it's your meter. You're looking at it. You call it audio and adjust your mic gain for the sweet spot of 7 or 2/3.
Roger, that's where it's at.
Okay, so in the future, it's probably a good idea. Your ALC meter is, I think, one of the most important meters of your radio. It'll tell you exactly what's going on. So I would leave my ALC meter out so I could see, and the idea is to develop a relationship with your ALC meter that you can keep it right there in the sweet spot of 7 or 2/3 for as much of the time as possible. Roger?
Roger that.
And little helpful reminders would be your cadence speed will help you keep that meter in that sweet spot. If you talk like that, then the meter's going to fall down, between words. But if you have a medium, quick delivery speed, then the meter's inclined to stay put up in that sweet spot area. And that's just a suggestion, Roger.
Roger that. We can do.
Roger, Roger. Okay, so the next thing would be to move into your tone control board, your equalizer. Do you know where that is? Can you go to that?
Not sure where that's at.
Okay, so let me give you a hint. It's menu, settings, transmit, sideband. We're getting close right in that area.
All right, I've got it.
Okay, and what's it reading right at the moment?
Oh, I've lost it. I've punched the button. Hang on just a second. Run me back to that again if you don't mind, Jim.
Okay, it's menu, settings, transmit, sideband in that area.
This is the new radio, and I'm hitting settings. Oh, well, there I go again. Menu, settings, and I have tone control function.
That's the one.
Display.
Tone control.
All right.
And what is your reading on tone control? You have two adjustments, a treble control and a bass control. And what do they say at the moment?
The bass control says 4, and the treble says 4 also. +4 and +4.
Okay, sir. So take that treble control, max out to a +5. I believe that's max on the 7300, +5 on your treble control. Roger?
Roger. That's where it's set now.
Okay, so and also let me ask: is that the hand supplied or the hand mic supplied?
Yes, sir.
Okay, best way to run that is pull it to the corner of your lips and talk across it. That will minimize any mouth noise that you might generate. So just bring it to the corner of your lips. Actually, touch the corner of your lips and talk across it. Roger?
Roger. I hope that sounds a little better there for you.
Yes, sir. Now, and we're +4. Let's come back to a +2 on that bass control. Roger, +2 on bass.
There you go. How's that sound?
Okay, why don't you tell me about your what you like best about your radio there for about 10 or 15 seconds.
Well, I love the receive of it. Since I've gotten this radio and since I've gotten on HF, which hasn't been very long at all, I'm really enjoying it. And I also, I've just put up a 40-meter inverted V-dipo with a 1-to-1 balun, and everything seems to be really matched well, and it's really working well. How's that?
Yes, sir. And that's normally where I would put it, but I'm just an adventuresome soul today, so what I want you to do is go back and crank in where you were there. I think that was +4 on your bass EQ control.
No, all right, we've got her back to a +4 there. Does that sound any better?
Yes, I'm looking at it on a spectrum analyzer, and you're much fuller down towards 100 cycles, and that 7300 does have the capability of running a 7300. Of 100 cycles, which is a really nice frequency there. I usually cut it off a little sooner than that, but I think you're sounding just great. So tell me now that we're looking at a nice bottom end there, when did you first become interested in ham radio? Were you a child of 16, or did it happen later in life?
Well, I first became interested in it when I was a child. My mother and father were always on 11 meters, and they were always surrounded by friends there and friends that were on the ham radio also. As a matter of fact, you were one of them, and the last time I spoke to you was probably 1978 or 79, and went to the fair with your son with you. Yeah, I've always been interested in it, but life is what life is, and I got married early on in life, and I always wanted to acquire my ham ticket, but I just never had time for so many years, and I didn't become disinterested, but I just was always pressed for so much work for so little time, and finally I said, well, you know what, I'm getting close to 60. I'm going to do it now, or I'm never going to do it.
Roger. Time does have a way of exponentially hurrying things up a little bit. I have a little bit of that myself, and not knowing for sure what's going to happen tomorrow. Then you go ahead and try to make that wish fulfillment. Steve, I think you've got a good sounding radio there. If you want to hear it, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, it will take you. And after that call sign, use the word logbook. So officially it's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook. On a YouTube search will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 3600, and I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. Roger?
We'll definitely do that. As a matter of fact, have been watching them. They're very interesting, and one of the reasons why I finally made the choice to go ahead and get my ticket, because I've watched you, I've bought the radio, I've listened on the radio, and thought, well, now's the time. But I sure appreciate your help with my radio, and I hope it's sounding better because of it. You have a good Friday, or the rest of your Friday, and have a good weekend. KR4IDW, I'm out.
Roger, sir. Well, good to talk at you, sir. And if you get a chance, join us next Friday. We'd love to have you. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net, and of course, this Friday everything is going to heck in a handbasket. For some reason, I use two routers to supply my my SDR internet capability, and then divided one with 3 and one with 1, or 50-50, however it goes. But for whatever reason, one of those routers is not functioning well today, and I don't happen to have the code password for the other one. I know it's around here somewhere, but I usually make it a habit of putting that information along with the router itself, so I always have that information, but not today. And so I'm running it kind of half staff, so to speak. I do have my local 7300, which I'm anticipating some miracles in reception today out of that 7300. Since the pressure's on, boys, wake up over there, 7300. You're on call heavily for today. Anyway, this is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Kilo Golf 4 Victor Charlie Foxtrot.
Victor Charlie Foxtrot, come back slowly with your call sign again phonetically, please.
Yeah, that's Kilo Golf 4 Victor Charlie Foxtrot, USA.
Roger, Victor Charlie Foxtrot, and what's the name there?
Yeah, the name over here is JJ, Juliet. I'm located out of Asheville, North Carolina.
Have a very, very good signal. Gosh, I'm receiving you on my local 7300. The rest of my crew, I think, is taking the day off, so it's a old-fashioned radio today. It looks like maybe I've got a couple that are running. Well, I've got one that's running. I don't know. I'm going to have to work on my internet SDR receivers. They're not sorely, but they're surely not working. I'll find the right word yet, Roger.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, I listen to you pretty regular. Usually I'm mobiling around this time of day. I'm still most of the time working still, but was in a fixed operating position, so thought I would give you a shout and say hello and see how this Anon G2 with the Heil PR40. I'm running a Flex amplifier and currently running a loop, and on my day off I raised the loop, put up a push-up pole today, so it's the first transmissions I've made on my loop at its new height there. Over.
Roger. Well, gosh, it's just beautiful. I would say you're 10 or 15 over on my local 7300. And I'm looking at your audio curve on a spectrum analyzer, and right down towards the bottom, on the other side of 100 cycles, it seems to be a little peaky there. We're probably about 50 cycles or 75. I don't know. Not much, good stuff down there. I usually try to take it flat down to 100 if I can, and then kind of softly roll off the backside so it's not, humpy going out. So anyway, let's see. What is the radio that you're running today, sir?
Yeah, I'm on a Anon G2, and I just ran my low cut up to 95. A lot of the guys that I talked to on 75 meters, I was running a profile that we use down there, and we're all using, monitoring speakers, monitoring grade headphones. So we like the boom, but I just cut that low end out there.
Roger, yeah, I can see that. Still a little lightweight, going about 500 cycles thereabouts. What we normally do, is that a 3-band EQ?
No, I've got I'm running some virtual studio tools, and I cut a lot of the boxiness out of the audio, but maybe I cut it a little too much. I've got a 10-band, and then a couple of other tools. So what you're seeing there is a big cut on 500.
Yeah, looks to be just on the other side. I have the spectrum analyzer has 3 white marks on it. Mark furthest to the left is 100 cycles. Mark closest to the right is 1 kc. Then there's a black space, which is 2 kc. And then there's another white mark, which is 4 kc or thereabouts, whatever. But I noticed that it is the shallowness occurs on the other on this side of 100 1 kc. So it's probably around 800 cycles to maybe 300, somewhere in there. You might look at that on your spectrum analyzer and think about maybe bringing that up a couple of clicks to kind of be more flat amongst these. What we normally do on like a 3-band EQ is that we suggest that the EQ2, the mids, be either off or flat. The mids be plus or minus 0, flat, or that equalizer be off. So we maintain the integrity of that frequency range, and we do our adjustments on the treble side and the bass side of that. And on the treble side, if you do have frequency selection capabilities, we usually suggest 2700 on your bass, on your treble push frequency, 2700. And if you have a width shaping device, we suggest a 4. And then probably plus 6, 7 clicks boost at that 2700 on your treble EQ control. Roger?
Yeah, Roger. Well, I appreciate that, and I'll go off and give that a whirl and try back with you some other time and see if I can get it nailed down a little better. But thanks so much, and I'll say 7-3 and let somebody else get in here. But I do appreciate you, and I took myself some notes, and I'll go listen to it on your YouTube channel and see if I can make it better for the next time.
Oh, Roger. Well, it's just all suggestions anyway. I mean, we all have to float our boat the way we see it, and I just make a comment about what I'm looking at, and in all good spirits. And gosh, I think you really sound great. That bottom end is so refreshing that it's up there. That's the thing. I have been guilty of that myself, and a lot of my career of just tapering down that bottom end, because the thing is, one of my thoughts were that in case we're calling it phase cancellation, and that occurs when your signal bounces up into the ionosphere and is reflected masterfully back to Earth from 2 locations instead of just 1. So when they come back to Earth as 2 and are joined as 1 back at a receive station, the probabilities of one of them, or actually both of them, being not phase angle correct is extremely high. So which indicates that you're going to start having some treble phase cancellation, and it always starts at the top end of the audio spectrum and then works its way down. The more severe that phase angle reflection is, as far as being out of phase, it depends on how severe it is, and then it'll work its way down into the lower frequencies. But by and large, it starts at the top and then probably stays there. But what happens is, if you're well endowed audio-wise across the band, if you were to lose the whole top end of the band because of phase cancellation, then you're left with this heavy bottom end, which could start to make the understanding of the words difficult for not having the top part of the audio spectrum, which is so important for articulation. Roger?
Yeah, Roger. Well, I certainly appreciate that, and I will go back and push a little more on the top end and listen to it on SDR. And but I do appreciate it, and I'll say 7-3, my friend.
Roger, Roger, JJ73, sir. You will catch you later. Sounded mighty good. And listening to that will be afternoon tomorrow. We'll have it uploaded to YouTube. So this is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Kilowatt, Bravo 8, Bravo Oscar Delta.
Bravo, Oscar Delta, Roger, Roger, and what's the name there?
Bravo, Oscar Delta, Roger, Roger, and what's the name there?
I'm sorry, the name here is Mike, like Mike India Kilo Echo, and we're in eastern Kentucky today. Go ahead.
Mike in eastern Kentucky, Roger, Roger. And Mike, what radio are you running today, sir?
Kentucky, Roger, Roger. And Mike, what radio are you running today, sir?
I'm running a little 891 Yaesu, little mobile. I actually found it at a pawn shop, and seems to be in pretty good shape, and got it home. Looks like it's going to work there. Go ahead.
Roger, Roger. Got some numbers on that radio? Give me the numbers.
Roger, Roger. Got some numbers on that radio? Give me the numbers.
Roger. 891. 891. It's the little Yaesu mobile there. Go ahead.
Roger that, Roger that. Okay, is that a newer radio or an older radio?
Roger that. Okay, is that a newer radio or an older radio?
Well, it's still being manufactured. I think it's been around for a few years, but this one was fairly new, looks like. But it's a radio that's been having for a few years now. What was the name?
I'm sorry, gosh, lost you right at the end. The name here is Jim, Juliet India Mike. Call is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor, Kilo Victor, KC9VKV. We're located around Louisville, Kentucky, on the Indiana side of the Ohio River, right at Louisville. I can see downtown Louisville from here. It's about 3 miles away. And gosh, we help folks set up their transmitters. And if you might be interested, if that's a newer radio, you should be running in that 100 to 2900 transmit bandwidth, TBW, 100 to 2900. It's called wide. Let your transmitter be all that it can be, and then gives you just a slice of daylight to keep from running into somebody else's conversation. Roger?
To keep from running into somebody else's conversation. Roger?
Roger that, Jim. Well, I appreciate the help there. I've got a manual for it, so I was going to study on that for a while, but it is a fairly new radio to me as far as using it. Worked a little 10 meters with it, and that's been about it. And I'm just north of Cave Run Lake, Jim, if you know where that's at, Judge.
No, I don't, but I just went to my local antenna, and you improved from about a 7 to about a 12 over, so I have a very, very nice signal on you now. And come back with that radio model one more time.
FT891. 891.
Roger, Roger. Okay, and what do you think? That radio is less than 4 years old?
I would think so, Jim. I'm like I say, I picked it up at a pawn shop and actually found out later who the individual was who bought it new, and I'd say that's 3 to 4 years old. I'd say you're right, Jim. Go ahead.
Roger, Roger. Now you're using the supplied hand mic, is that a Roger?
Roger, yep.
Okay, so what I want you to do is work across that mic. Don't work directly into it. Pull it to the corner of your lips and talk across it. You will be amazed at the lack of lip noise and voice extraneous stuff that doesn't need to be there as you work across that mic, Roger. So actually touch the corner of your lips as you talk across it, Roger.
Okay, how's that, Jim? I'll copy now, go ahead.
That's excellent. That's excellent. Okay, so what we want to do is try to get that radio in that 100 to 2900 transmit bandwidth. And I'll just say it's in menu, settings, transmit, sideband, in that area there, you should find your transmit bandwidth. You'll probably have 3 options. One of those will be called wide, 100 to 2900. Roger?
Roger that, Jim. I would love to stay and get this thing straightened out if you don't care. I'm probably going to have to get on out of here pretty quick, but just heard you in there, seen that big signal, and wanted to say good afternoon, and at least to make sure the thing was working here. Go ahead.
Roger. Sounds good. I'm just thinking that you could possibly be in some of those reduced bandwidths, and that affects your top end. The less ability that you have other than 2900, you start to roll that top end. So you might double check that just to be sure you're in that wide mode, which will let your transmitter be all that it can be. So, and let me say 73 for the moment there, Mike. You have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. If you want to listen to the recording, I think it's very nice. You go to YouTube, do a call letter search, KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. Will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 3600, and I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. Roger?
Roger that, Jim. We'll certainly appreciate the help, and nice to meet you here on 40, and we'll certainly, you in here, is it every day you run this, Jim, or when?
Now, just on Friday afternoons, I've got it worked out where I can have a busman's holiday through the week, and I just have to try to get things together for Friday afternoon from 3:30 till 5. Roger?
Roger that. Well, that's awful good of you to do that, and we'll certainly look for you another day. But if I don't talk to you, have a good holiday, and we'll say 7-3, Jim. Nice to meet you. KB8BUD.
Roger, Mike 73, sir. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio that you want to check out, give me a shout.
November 4, Whiskey Echo Echo.
Whiskey Echo Echo, Roger, what's the name?
Hi, the name here is Mike, and I'm located in Nashville, Tennessee.
Roger, Mike. And what radio are you running today, sir?
I'm running a pretty old Yaesu. It's a FT980, so it's 80s vintage.
Roger that. What do you think the transmit bandwidth is? Probably about 2.6, you think?
I believe so. I have it adjusted pretty much in the middle there.
Roger that. You probably don't have a self-determined transmit bandwidth that you can actually put a frequency in. You're kind of locked in that frequency, and there's you have no input to that. Roger.
Well, there is a width knob on this rig, but I'm not sure exactly what the parameter would be.
Roger. Well, you know that the higher the transmit bandwidth, the better the transmitter is going to sound on the top end. As you roll off or fail to meet the transmit bandwidth higher regiments, then obviously you're going to suffer in the top-end fidelity because of the lack of capabilities there. But there are ways that you can facilitate a much better signal than normal. You just have to take advantage of a couple of things there. The first would be your compressor processor, and we just want to tap that as about a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, just barely there. Compressor processor needs to be handled with a great deal of finesse. Otherwise, you can tick some people off because they can't stand that pump situation between words, and so that's why we suggest a 3. It is below that pump rate, so it never pumps. Almost impossible to detect that a person is running a compressor processor because it's so light, and that's when we suggest a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100 on your compressor processor. Roger?
I understand. I've turned on the compressor processor, and I've kind of dialed it to what I would say is 3 out of 10. So I don't know if that made any difference in reception, but here it goes.
Roger, Roger, you have that now?
Yeah, that's correct. I have the processor enabled, and I have it dialed to about 3 out of 10 on the dial.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, so now let's move to your ALC meter with mic gain in hand. And as you say the magic word audio, you're spoken just as you would speak any other word in a QSO. Don't stress it, just say it. And as you say it, adjust your mic level control until your ALC meter is running in the sweet spot of 7 or 2/3. 7 or 2/3 on your ALC meter as you say the word audio and adjust your mic level control.
All right. Audio.
And we're primarily interested in the first part of that word, the audio. Don't worry about the back half, just the because you become a human steady-state tone machine at that point. Roger?
Roger. Audio.
And it's, like I say, it's a steady-state tone, so it's real easy just to say the word audio and adjust your mic level until you're on that sweet spot of 7 or 2/3 on your ALC.
Audio. I believe I have it. It looks like that's probably about 2/3.
Yes, sir. Okay, now let's move to your equalization control. And what kind of control do you have? I would suggest, since we have the compressor processor on, we should look and see if there's a Paul set of EQ controls that equalizer defers to when you have the compressor processor on. Roger?
Roger, I don't think this rig has any equalization in there, and I don't believe there is any associated with that processor. just on or off with the amount.
You're talking about the compressor processor, or you're talking about, do you have an EQ page, do you think, in that radio?
Yeah, there's no EQ page. It's 1980s radio, so there's really nothing on this regarding that.
Roger, Roger. Well, ballistically now, you're in that 3 dB dynamic range. So your average percent of peak modulation should be up there around 80 to 85%. What happens is unprocessed audio has what we call a 10 dB dynamic range. That is, if I had a VU meter attached to a PA system and you were talking about a baseball game or something, my meter would be tied to your amplifier output as you spoke, and it would be bouncing all over the place there, and we would call that a 10 dB dynamic range area there without any processing. But for transmitting, it doesn't work out very well because it's not as fat as it could be. So what we do in a series of actions there, from that slight compression processor to that sweet spot of 7 or 2/3 on your ALC, we format up to about a 3 dB dynamic range, which means that then your average percent of peak modulation is running about 80 to 85%. So it becomes a much more substantial audio signal to transmit, Roger. But it's still clean. There's not a hint of distortion anywhere. It's just beautiful because words have to have life to further their meaning as you listen to somebody. And if somebody has got their gain cranked all the way up and it sounds like they're trying to make Mars on 5 watts, it's really they're defeating their purpose because the word is so lack of dynamic range. It's just up against the wall and usually very distorted. So what we want to do is a very fat signal with no distortion. Roger?
I understand. I appreciate the insight.
Oh, we have somebody that's joined us almost. They must be at 7189, as much of them as I have at the moment. But anyway, gosh, Mike, I think we kind of went through it there. I think you're sounding good there. I were before our friendly neighbor started 1KC off. But anyway, if you want to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, that will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 3600, and I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. Roger?
Oh, excellent. I appreciate you doing that.
Yes, sir. That's what we do. We've been doing it for now about 10 years on Friday afternoons between 3:30 and 7. And glad to have you aboard. If you get a chance, join us next Friday. We'd love to have you.
Okay, I will do that. Well, Kilo Charlie 9 Charlie Victor, this is November 4 Whiskey Echo Echo, and I guess I'll be clear here. Thank you for your time.
Roger, Roger, Mike 73, sir. You have a great afternoon, a beautiful weekend. And like I say, if you get a chance, join us next Friday. We'd love to have you. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. And now we're on our other functioning SDR for today, and I'm not real sure where it is. I think it's up around Cincinnati, on the Indiana side of the Ohio River, right around Cincinnati maybe. But it does favor communications in Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, around through there, Alabama. So if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. And back on our local antenna, so might try traffic down towards southern Georgia, northern Florida. Just out of curiosity, my 7300 does well in those areas. As we were constructing our mantra was, as we were constructing our antenna, our mantra was 20 over from Montreal to Miami. And we do have a dipole antenna, and one leg is broadband to our northern friends there in Montreal, and the other side of that dipole is broadside to Miami, Florida. And so we said hopefully our our signal strength would be 20 over from Montreal to Miami with a hotspot through the Carolinas. So and it seems to be that antenna, that dipole is functioning in that situation, even though conditions may vary from time to time. And it is one of those antennas that has been just a marvel for me, as being almost imperceptible as far as the standing wave. And what I do is I'm not running a transformer on my dipole antenna. I'm just running one side up unbalanced, and then so one side of my dipole is ground side, and the other side is a high side. So on the ground side, we're working to reduce the SWR, always on the ground side, reducing the SWR. And then on the high side, we are bringing it back onto the frequency that we're looking for to operate on. So it's back and forth like that. that, and it's just amazing how well, it takes a little dedication, but and it's just a game. It's not anything when you pass a 1.5 or whatever, nobody would really notice. But I have found it really challenging to keep that SWR aspect with unmovable down in that area. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. All right, well, not much going on today on the band, so we're not going to belabor the point. I have always a standing invitation to go fishing, and I may just do that here in the next few minutes. We've gone around a couple of times. I don't have my all of my SDRs up today. I've only actually got one out of 5 going, plus my local receiver, so that's really light for us. We do usually run many more SDRs than that, 5 SDRs, and we do have our 10-foot vertical magnetic loops. 3 of those, one at 0 degrees, one at 90 degrees, and one at 136 degrees, I believe it is. That 136 is interesting because that's not a multiple of a phase angle relationship with the antennas, but what that is, it's a null point. So I just put that receiver, take it out of any kind of AGC, and I'm looking at the band just as flat as I can. And what I'm interested in is rotating my 10-foot vertical magnetic loop until the least noise is available or showing up on my view meter, which is tied to the output of the 7300. So I'm just rotating that 10-foot vertical magnetic loop antenna for minimum noise, and I can shave almost 15 dB of noise off of finding the perfect angle on that 10-foot vertical magnetic loop antenna. So anyway, this is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check, give me a shout.
Kilo Delta 9 Zulu X-ray Echo.
Zulu X-ray Echo. Roger, what's the name?
My name is Doug.
Roger, Doug, and gosh, where are you, sir? What's your location?
I am in northern Indiana.
Roger, Roger, and what radio is that you're running today?
Yaesu FT991A, 100 watts.
Ah, Roger, Roger. And is that a newer radio?
I believe it is, yes.
Alrighty, so what we want to do, if you might be interested, is the first thing is to be sure that you're in that wide transmit bandwidth, TBW, that is 100 to 2900 transmit bandwidth, and you usually, on the newer radios, you have a series of like 3 options. And one of those options is the called wide, 100 to 2900. Roger.
I have a width control.
Yes, sir. And we're looking for 100 to 2900. Roger.
I have 1800 to 3000.
Roger, you might have bumped your VFO. We're on 7188. Roger.
Yeah, I'm on there.
Roger, Roger. Now, so are you locked into that $3,000, or can you make that 29? Can you program that transmit bandwidth to 100 to 2900? Or do you have that option?
you know, I haven't used all of my options. I don't know. I'm still learning.
Yes, sir. Well, it's important for you to keep your options open. Otherwise, yeah, you're locked into something. But anyway, you might make note of that to check it out on your book. We're looking for that transmit bandwidth. It's called wide, 100 to 2900. 100 to 2900 transmit bandwidth called wide. I'd pass that then to your compressor processor, and we're getting that on at a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100. We're just barely getting that that compressor processor utilization, Roger. It's very, very light. We're using a great deal of finesse on that compressor processor because we don't want to have it sucking up between words. So that's why we've chosen a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100.
I'm sorry, I don't have any information for you. I'm going to have to read the book.
Roger, Roger. All right, you could take notes there if you like. 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100 on your compressor processor, and then onto your ALC with mic gain in hand. And as you say the word audio, adjust your mic gain until your ALC meter is running 7 or 2/3, which is the sweet spot for your ALC meter. And that allows you to set your modulation level, Roger.
Okay.
And I think your EQ sounded pretty good. Why don't you tell me the best thing you like about your radio, and let me listen to you.
Well, I like the fact that I have access to all of the HF bands, and it's easy to operate. I've got a lot of good reports on audio quality and signal strength from all over the world.
Roger, Roger, Doug. Well, you're running that supplied hand mic, and the best way to run that is pull it to the corner of your lips and talk across it. Do not talk directly into it because it makes a lot of mouth noises and stuff when you do that. So just pull it to the corner of your lips and talk across it. Roger?
Roger that. As I said, I am happy with the radio. It was recommended to me when I got into ham radio, which I am fairly new in radio, so this is the only rig I have used, and I don't really have anything to compare it with.
Roger that, Roger that. Well, you know, what we're trying to do is take that, your transmitter, which generic, that transmitter is 10 dB bandwidth, and that will give you 30% average peak modulation with a 10 dB dynamic range signal. So what we want to do is fatten that signal up to a 3 dB dynamic range, and that increases your average percent of peak modulation to 80 to 85%. Roger?
Okay.
So basically, the thing I laid out for you there will get you going on that 3 dB dynamic range and 80 to 85% of peak modulation. The only thing left is the EQ, the equalization aspects of that radio, and I'll give you notes on that. If it is a 3-band EQ that you have on that radio, and I don't know, but if it is, normally we suggest keeping the mids flat. That equalizer, if it's a 3-band, equalizer 2, your mid-frequency equalizer flat or off. We want to preserve the mid-frequencies just as pristine as we can. Then move up to that EQ3, which is your treble EQ, and if you can crank in frequencies, we would love to have that to be 2700. 2700 on your treble EQ adjustment, and if you have the capability of adjusting the width of the curve of that EQ, we would want that to be a 4 on EQ3, and then on the push aspect, we would like to make that probably a plus 7 or something like that to increase your equalization push in that frequency range. Roger?
Okay, Roger.
And other sounds great. Your bottom end is fine. You could use a little more on the bottom end, but then if you run into any kind of problems with phase cancellation because of your signal being bent back to Earth from two different time places in space, and they come back out of phase with each other and start to cancel each other out, that cancellation always starts from the top of the frequency spectrum down. So the first thing you lose is your top end EQ push, and so without that top end for balance, if you have a real heavy bottom end, you become Mr. Mumbles, and that doesn't help either. So I'm not really inclined to push a real heavy bottom end anyway. Roger?
Roger. I am aware of all these adjustments in my menu. I haven't ever. I'm still using all of the adjustments that came with the radio preset, but I have these notes, and I'm going to investigate this and check back with you another time.
Sounds excellent. Thank you so very much, Doug. Appreciate that. And if you want to hear your audio as it stands, I've got a really good copy on you on my 7300 around Louisville. And if you want to hear your audio, it's really nice as it stands, even before we march off into some added directions. But if you want to hear it, if you go to YouTube, do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook. That will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 3600, and I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. Roger?
Roger that. Thank you.
Roger, Doug. Well, 73, sir. You have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend, and if you get a chance, join us next Friday. We'd love to have you there. So this is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Whiskey Alpha 8, Alpha Hotel Zulu.
Alpha Hotel Zulu. Come back with your call sign one more time phonetically, please.
Whiskey Alpha 8, Alpha Hotel Zulu. The name is Mike.
Roger, Alpha Hotel Zulu. Name is Mike. And Mike, what is your location, sir?
Fairfax, Virginia, just outside of Washington, D.C.
Roger, Virginia. And what radio are you running today, Mike?
Today it's the Flex 6500. I did a little adjusting on audio and would love to get a audio report and just confirm if the adjustments make sense out there on the other side of the microphone. Up to you, over.
Roger. Well, gosh, first thing would be to make sure you're in that wide 100 to 2900 transmit bandwidth. 100 to 2900 is called wide. And that's what we prefer to be in. It allows your transmitter to be all that it can be. And then gives you just a slice of daylight so you don't become involved in somebody else's conversation, Roger.
Roger, and I think I'm pretty well there with no more than about a 2700 hertz bandwidth.
Roger. Now, are you locked into that 27, or can you input frequencies to 29?
I can go to 33 easily, which I don't want to do. I can go down to 24, which I'll do when I'm contesting. But there you go. Yes, probably, but you're now at the edge of where I have mastered this radio.
Roger, Roger. Okay, so let me give you some food for thought, maybe. Say we're in a pileup, trying to reach somebody's CQDX, and there's 30 or 40 people in there. And they're all as sharp as a tack, and they're all mid-range, whatever. But there's one guy in there that's running a full frequency range transmission. And that means that he has an area in the audio band that nobody else is there, because they're all rolling their bottoms out. He's not rolling his bottom out to, say, 100 cycles. Everybody else is out at 4. So he has a range of frequencies that's all to himself. Also, depending on the top end, a lot of folks roll the top end off and try to get down into that piercing 3kc or 2kc or 1kc signal. Well, he's got content up there at 27, and maybe pushing at 27. But anyway, he has frequency response up to 29. So again, he's in an area that he's in the clear. So you take these areas that he is in the clear against all these other people that are not there. You wonder if he might be perceived easier than other folks, since he's the only one in those frequency realms.
Well, I've turned my equalizer off, so at this point I should be pretty flat across the entire speech frequencies. How's this sound? Over.
Okay, so I'm seeing activity down to about 400 cycles, and then it rolls out. So what would be neat would be, our setup procedure is, the first thing is that transferred bandwidth, and we want to get that as best we can. And you might think about that. Maybe there is a way that you can get to 2900 a lot easier than what you're thinking about. And I realize 300 is 2900 is not 3 or 3500 or whatever, but it is an operational frequency that I think, in my personal opinion, does more good at 2900 than bad. And so there's less people looking for my location with a shotgun at 29 than there would be at 35. So that's when we suggest 100 to 2900, the transmit bandwidth called wide. And that I'm not sure on your flex if that shifts you to another EQ realm, like in the Paul P set of controls for EQ after your processor is turned on. I'm not sure if that happens with your radio, Roger.
Well, I have done some adjusting. I'm now up to about 28.4 on the high end and down to 100 on the low end. If you can look at that, that would be appreciative. It's a setting between 27 and 33, and I can do that very easy. That's a very easy adjustment. So how's that sound? Over.
Yes, sir. It has possibilities. It's very close to ideal. So I would run it just like that, and then maybe we could run to your ALC to set level, and your ALC meter is the Bible for that radio, and so as you say the word audio, you become a human test tone generator, saying you have your hand on the mic level control as you say this word audio, and adjust your ALC meter for 7 or 2/3. 7 or 2/3 on your ALC meter as you say the word audio, spoken just as you would speak any other word. Don't stress it, just say it, Roger.
I'm going to do that. So I have that's interesting. So I have the compression set about mid-range, and I do have, that's interesting, my ALC could use a little bit of a tweak up. So I'm going to do that on the next transmission, but I'm watching what I'm doing on my end. I'm about a level. Well, mine's in a scale of dBs where I'm hitting about on peak about minus 10 dB. Sounds this sound.
Roger, Mike. In that compressor, all we want is about 3 or 4 dB of activity there. That's when we say a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100. We're approaching that compressor processor with a great deal of finesse to be sure that we're under that point where somebody says, "Hey, he's running a compressor." We don't want anybody to know what we're doing. So that's why, I suggest a 3 on your compressor processor. Roger?
Roger. Ooh, that did make a difference. So I pushed it a little bit differently now. And this is probably but I will go out to your website and pick me up. So let's turn it back over to you. I'm now running with, actually, the process is normal years code.
Roger. And like I said, I'm not sure whether, because your compressor processor is on, that you have now shifted to a P set of EQ controls. But if not, if you don't have a separate set of P control or EQ controls called P, then I would suggest if you have the ability to put in your frequency for your equalization, the magic frequency for your, let's put it this way. What we want to do is if you have a 3-band EQ, what we want to do is make sure that mid EQ, EQ2, is flat or off. In other words, we don't want to mess with the mids at all. We want them off or flat as far as the EQ is concerned. Roger?
Okay, I've got the equalizer back on transmit. I have cranked down the mid range. I have a little bit in high range. And there's been a debate in circles I've been that equalizer around 0 is actually what you should be doing. It seems to me when I'm listening to the receive equalizer, I push it up to the mid-range, but that may be because of my hearing default. But anyway, I don't know if I have your name. Mike Spike, and I sure appreciated your time.
Roger, Mike. Just not sure we're on the level modulation. That was on your ALC meter. As you look at your ALC meter, we want that sweet spot to be 7 or 2/3. So as you say the word audio, adjust your mic gain control until your ALC meter is at the sweet spot of 7 or 2/3. Roger?
Yeah, Roger. And I've got that. Hey, I've got to push off. I've got something cooking on the stove, and now to get it off that stove. So I'm going to say 73 to you. I'm taking your KC9VK. If that's not right, let me know. This is WA8AHZ. I'm going to say 73. Thanks for your time today. This is very instructive.
Roger, Mike 73, sir, and I hope you save whatever in turmoil on your stove. Nothing worse than burnt whatever. It never tasted good, quite burnt as it does. As you, I found, once I hit 185 temperature, I'm just then cooking for effect and looking for that brown earth mother smother look for whatever I'm cooking. Anyway, 73, sir. And if you want to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube, do a call letter search KC9VKV followed by the word logbook will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 3600, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. So 73 there, Mike, and we will catch you later. If you get a chance, join us next Friday. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Kilo Radio 4,
Whiskey India Yankee.
Station ending in Yankee. Come back slowly, phonetically, with your call sign.
This is Kilo Oscar 4, Whiskey India Yankee. First timer. I just heard you guys chatting.
Roger, Whiskey India Yankee. What's the name?
This is Steve. I'm in Dandridge, Tennessee.
Roger, Roger. Steve, and what radio are you running, sir?
I am learning a Yaesu FT891. I've mainly been doing FT8 because it's pretty easy, but I still get, there's some radio I don't know that I can do with it, so I am really still learning.
Oh, roger that. Okay, I'm copying you on my 7300 today. I've had a revolt with my SDR's operation today. They have not liked me at all, and most of them have refused to operate. I've got to get in there with a baseball bat and correct some misunderstanding between myself and my tablets. But anyway, I'll figure all that out. I think I've got a router that's bit the dust. I'm running two routers, half on one and half on the other. I've run 5 different SDR receivers and on a 6-position rotary selector, and I can run through those in about a second and a half, 2 seconds. And my local 7300 audio is also on that selector switch, so I can put that in the mix as far as the better signal. And I'm not looking at a meter or anything to select the best SDR. I'm listening to white noise in general, or signal strength in my ears, and so I'll come back, I'll run through 6, and I'll say, hey, number 3 was pretty clean. Let me go to that, and I'll go to that, and there it is. So that's the way I run that. These are Amazon Fire tablets, 10-inch Fire tablets. And so they do, 7-inch, I'm sorry. And so they do a really good job. I have a quad group right in front of me, and then I have 2 down to my left, and so they work out real well. They do have sometimes the ability to change frequencies magically on their own, which is very interesting. I'm not sure where that command came from, but I always thought that things didn't move until you told them to move, but these things tend to have a mind of their own sometimes. I don't know. But anyway, gosh, Steve, if you would like, we're looking for 100 to 2900 on your transmit bandwidth. TBW, 100 to 2900. That lets your transmitter be all that it can be, and then it gives you just a slice of daylight before you're into somebody else's conversation. Roger?
Yeah, I kind of understand. I think I'm running a bandwidth right now of 1950. I do have to ask you a couple questions with it. Can I get your cell phone again? A lot of my stuff. I've been a fan for about 3 years. I ran around with a handy-talkie for the first 2.5. I picked up this FT891 last year. I finally have a pretty decent antenna. I'm running a very simple JPC-12, about a 17-foot antenna that's on the coil, and have it around there. Actually, have it in the ground about 30 feet from my house, and it's pretty good. Back to you, sir.
Roger that, roger that. Well, gosh, if you might take notes, that would be the quickest thing. Just take notes. First thing is to get that transmit bandwidth in order to 100 to 2900, or as close as you can get that. Let that transmit of yours be all that it can be, and then gives you just a slice of daylight before you're into somebody else's conversation, onto your compressor processor. And we're looking for just 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100 on that compressor processor, depending on how it's labeled. Just a third, barely in there, maybe 3 or 4 dB of activation on that compressor processor. And then move to your ALC with mic gain in hand, and as you say the magic word audio, adjust your mic gain control until your ALC meter is running in the sweet spot of 7 or 2/3. So 7 or 2/3 on your ALC meter. As you say the word audio, you become a human test generator, and adjust your mic gain until you're in the sweet spot of 7 or 2/3. Roger?
Roger, I understand that. I got to mention something else about that, too.
Roger, Steve. So I can't hear you clear enough to give you any EQ hints, but maybe next Friday we'll be under some better operating conditions, and I'll be able to hear you cleaner, and maybe we'll get your EQ going. Roger?
Roger that. Yeah, roger that. I've been taking notes as you go. Kilo Oscar 4, Whiskey India Yankee, back to you, sir. And if I can get your call sign again and your net, I would appreciate it.
Roger, Steve. This is Jim, Juliet India Mike. The call is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. Now, for the YouTube location, it's KC9VKV followed by the word logbook. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor followed by the word logbook. On a YouTube search will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 3600, and I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. Roger?
Roger that, Jim. I got it. KC9 Victor Kilo Victor, and looking for on YouTube with KC9 Victor Kilo Victor logbook. Roger that.
Roger there, Steve. That's it. KC9VKV logbook will take you to this recording. So let me say 373 to you there, and you have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend, and join us next Friday. We'd love to have you. And with all that being said, we got to get out of here. If you participated in today's broadcast and would like to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube and do that call letter search, Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook, will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 3600, and by noon tomorrow on YouTube. So with all that being said, we got to get out of here and pass this frequency back to normal amateur radio use. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, clear.
4 Charlie Whiskey Bravo, can you get one more?
Yeah, go ahead. What's the call sign?
Kilo Radio 4 Charlie Whiskey Bravo.
Charlie Whiskey Bravo, Roger. Give me the call sign again, slowly, phonetically.
Sure. Kilo Radio 4 Charlie Whiskey Bravo. Kilo Romeo 4 Charlie Whiskey Bravo.
Roger. What's the name?
Name is Ben in Georgia. Bravo Echo November. And you're 5'9", Roger.
Roger. What's the name again?
Ben Bravo Echo November.
Bravo Echo November. Ben, is that a Roger?
Roger.
Okay, Ben, and what radio are you running at the moment?
At the moment, the radio I'm running is a Daiju G90, 20 watts, and the other day I was using it, and they were saying my audio was muffled. So how is my audio right now? Back to you.
Sounding pretty good. Do you have a selectable transmit bandwidth on that radio? Can you command the transmit bandwidth difference to 100 to 2900, the called wide transmit bandwidth, Roger?
I've looked through it, and I don't think so, sir. Let's see. I'll look through a little bit. I don't think I do, though. I do have mic gain adjustments and ALC adjustment, whatever you call that. But Yeah, I don't think I do. I'll have to look through it a little bit more. Back to you.
Roger, Roger. Okay, so let's move to your compressor processor. You have a compressor processor on that radio, Roger?
I'm not sure what it is. So if you could tell me a little bit more about it, I might could tell you if I do or not.
Roger, Roger. Well, this is a thing that, it's a compressor processor that helps your modulation control, and it might be better for if you just took notes, maybe about that compressor processor adjustment, 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, and then you can look at the book and figure it out from there. Roger?
Roger, Roger. Yeah, I'll have to look at the book more and or look up and see if it does. But I had my mic gain up to a 15. Now I have it down to a 5, and I guess my audio is better. But that to me is just Kilo Radio 4, Charlie Discrepancy.
Yeah, Roger, the best thing, that microphone is, it sounds like you're running a hand mic, and the best way to do that is pull it to the corner of your lips and talk across it. Do not talk directly into that hand mic. It will distort and cause audio problems. So what you want to do is just pull it to the corner of your lips and talk across it. It'll be a lot cleaner that way, Roger?
Roger, 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 Roger. Okay, yeah, that's good information. Thanks for telling me that. And hopefully I'll have a desk mic soon. I kind of got tired of the hand mic. Some hand mics are nice feeling hand mics, but not this one. Back to you.
Roger, Roger. So then we're talking about that compressor processor on at a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, depending on how it's labeled. And then we move to our ALC meter, and with mic gain in hand. And as you say the magic word audio, you become a human test tone generator. Don't stress the word, just say the word as you would say any other word in a QSO, and adjust your mic level control until your ALC meter is running in the sweet spot of 7 or 2/3. 7 or 2/3 on your ALC meter as you say the word audio and adjust your mic level. Roger?
Roger, 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 Roger. Yeah, right now my ALC is a little bit high, but it seems like you can hear me well, so I will have to test it out and all. But thanks for the information. It is running right now at about a 45 on the ALC. I think that's kind of high, and I'm not too sure, but back to you.
Roger, the sweet spot on that ALC meter is 7 or 2/3. 7 or 2/3 on your ALC meter, and you just bring your mic gain up to where your ALC meter is peaking at 7 or 2/3. Roger?
Roger, 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 Roger. Thanks for the information, and I will try that out. Try to get into the sweet spot and better audio, and I've heard better audio can get you a better signal too. Well, you have to get out of here, so I will go ahead and have to get out of here. So I will go every Friday. Back to you.
Roger, Roger, Ben. Okay, sir. 73, sir. And if you get a chance to join us next Friday, we'd love to have you. And so that we got to get out of here. Again, if you folks that participated want to hear their audio, if you go to YouTube and do that call letter search, KC9VKV followed by the word logbook, will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 3600, and I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. So with all that being said, we got to get out of here and return this frequency back to amateur radio use. And this is normal amateur radio use. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor, Kilo Victor, clear.